Alright everyone, during the eclipse, Donald Trump dared to look at the sun for a few seconds without his eclipse glasses on. Naturally, the news declared that this was evidence of madness. It was front page news for a few hours. It was weird to see. They said, oh, well, he's being a buffoon, and is this really something to get outraged about? Yeah, like nobody else ever looked at the eclipse for a couple of seconds without eclipse glasses on. Yeah. Totally reasonable to suspect he's the only person in the country who did it. So people who think that Trump is a moron, they say, well, this is proof that he's a moron. Did he go blind? No. Did it endanger national security? No. Why would I care, honestly? It's really clickbaity to put that on the front page. HuffPost, Salon, CNN was covering it. I mean, come on. Meanwhile, he's making like the Afghanistan speech, and we've got still boiling over problems in Charlottesville. We get a million things to talk about as a nation. What do they decide is most newsworthy? The eclipse that Trump looked at briefly. They think that that's more newsworthy than any of these other things happening. No, I think watching grass grow is probably more newsworthy than that. But they don't see it that way. You see, the legacy media likes clickbait, and so, you know, if they think the prevailing wisdom is Trump is an idiot, they're going to ram it into the ground over and over. They'll be singing a different tune fairly shortly. I was correct when Bannon was fired. That signaled Trump's shift in strategy on all fronts. You see this with his Afghanistan speech, not just with his second round of comments about Charlottesville. And I'll be talking more about the Afghanistan speech, by the way, shortly. That'll be the main video of the day, because it's all anyone's talking about. I would have covered it last night, but after streaming for 2.5 hours, you get a little bit tired of talking all day. It can be a little bit more difficult than some people suspect. Some people, they're not used to doing that. They do short form, a lot of editing. I do long form anyways. I'm sitting there talking for 10-20 minutes on a regular basis. Then I'm sitting there talking for 2.5 hours. But to see that, it's like it was more important to these groups than the eclipse itself. Trump looking at the sun for a couple of seconds was really newsworthy. The eclipse itself was basically herder news stories for days leading up to it. Oh, does this signal the, will this destroy Trump for some mystic reason, which isn't going to happen? Will this cause Yellowstone to erupt? Will this cause a war or something? It's modern day, is this really the age of enlightenment? I'm not exactly sure that it is. It was crazy. But I mean, it was front page news. It doesn't make any sense. By the way, the next eclipse, the next total eclipse over the U.S., will come right through, like we'll be in the path of the totality here in Vermont. Most of the eastern seaboard will be. Most of the eastern states will be very close to the totality region. I think it's centered not that far above Rutland County, actually. So, it's going to be pretty fun. And if I'm not here, the other places I'm looking at moving to, temporarily or permanently, they're all in the path of totality also. So I'm like, oh, good. Yeah, in a few years, you know, I'll be able to live stream that one, hopefully with better equipment. Hopefully Logitech releases their next line of webcams. They'll be better now than the C920, because they keep dragging their heels and making like gaming webcams and stuff. It doesn't make much sense to me. And it's just dumb. But Trump looking at the sun, oh no. He did the one, it's an impeachable offense. He looked at the sun during the eclipse. There were people shitposting about that. And of course, it's hyperbole. It's aimed actually at the legacy media. The idea is, well, they'll sensationalize anything. Well, true. That's basically what they were saying. Trump is too dumb to be the president. He looked at the eclipse for a couple seconds. He's going to go blind now. Like, just, why? How is that newsworthy? Well, it was funny anyway. You know, they get their chuckle on for an hour. They got some cheap news in at prime time, and then, of course, they let it go and start focusing on other ways in which they detest the U.S. president. And that's basically all they've been doing now for some time. That's about all. Peace out.